Your school now has a space club, and you are the teacher in charge of that space club. The long-range goal of the Space Club, decades in advance, is the transformation of Nigeria and West Africa into developed countries. If you watched our previous video, we've explained to you the importance of the space race, and we've said there's nothing Nigeria can do or will do that will make Nigeria developed until we have a space program. Not just Nigeria, the whole of Africa. Right now we are having this training. You're using a computer, you're using your phone, you're using an app. Everything you're using was made in the West or China or Asia, everything. There's none of it that was made in Africa. And the gap is getting so wide. And if you're going to change that narrative, we have to start working on the next generation. We have to have in the next 10, 20 years, children who will become the next Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and Bill Gates that will do great things. And the Space Club is our pathway to that. That's the long-range goal. Now, the immediate goal is to get your school, to differentiate your school. If your school has a functional space program, you're going to be different from other schools. When parents start knowing about the space program, they will want their children to participate. So you are spreading knowledge, you are directing these students. Doesn't matter if they're in commercial class or art class, doesn't matter if they want to be tailors in future or even bus drivers. Everyone needs to have an interest in space. If you compare us with the West, if you compare us to America and Europe, even someone that did not finish secondary school knows about space, can tell you what Andromeda is, can tell you what the Milky Way is, the size. This is because it's part of their culture. It's not something that they just read about in school, it's in their movies, in their songs, and they're aware of it. So you are the head of the Space Club, and it's important that you, as the head of the Space Club, you gain knowledge. So among the first things you need to do is to give your Space Club a name. If your school is Tinubu High School or your school is Buhari Primary School, you can call it Buhari Primary School Space Club. Our goal is to find members of society that are well-to-do, who will sponsor your space club and who will give you materials, telescopes, and computers you can use. We are actively trying to do that. When they do sponsor you, you can name the Space Club after them. So let's say Chief Ernest Ojokwu decides to sponsor the Space Club of Tinubu High School, then we're going to call it the Chief Ernest Ojokwu Space Club because he's the one sponsoring it, in the sense that he's the one that's making funds available for you to have the projectors and the telescopes you need. Now, if you're a school that is not in your policy, then you don't have to have someone sponsor it. Parents can pay money and it can be self-functional, so let it have a name. Secondly, besides having a name, let's know the teacher in charge. You need to work with our organization, International Space Club, so we know the teachers that are involved and are in charge. We are going to liaise with you. We recommend 3 teachers that we will train, but definitely 1 teacher is in charge. Then we need to know how you are operating in the school. Like we discussed in your orientation program, how do you want to run the Space Club? Is it going to be like an after-school event? Like when I went to school in Nigeria, we had clubs, we met on Wednesdays. Most clubs used to meet on Wednesday in my secondary school in those days. But then there are clubs that are more active, like we used to have Jet Club. We used to have a literary and debating society. There was Press Club, there was Baking Society. Those were very active. So they had their meetings sometimes several days in a week. Like even if debating had a program to attend, they could meet every day before the program. The Jet Club, they used to meet because they had competitions, but there were some clubs we used to have, like Electrical Club. Those clubs were not so active. So once every Wednesday, all clubs met on that particular day. So if it's a club, then the students who are interested, and it was voluntary in those days, or people who are selected, like Jet Club in my days, they selected the best students in science classes, or the best students in each class, or things like Press Club, you joined if you were interested. So, are you selecting students to join, or will it be mandatory? We are interested in knowing how you are doing this so that we can be able to liaise with you. Or is your school planning to make this a part of studies, like for JS1 Integrated Science or for SS3 Physics? While we know that it's not exactly like this in the WAEC curriculum, it's still a small part of it. So you want to teach it as a subject. Whatever you decide to do, let us know so we can know how we can help you. Then we need a list. If it's open to all students of the school, that's clear. If it's students volunteering, then let's know the list of students, because part of our plan is to engage the parents. We have a program to help you engage the parents. If you engage the parents, then the school itself will earn money in the sense that you can sell to the students telescopes and binoculars. If parents know how important this thing is, they will start ordering telescopes and binoculars, and they're going to order them through the school. You are the ones that will sell them to them. The money will come to you. Our own is just to provide it to you, and you sell whatever price you want to sell it to them. So we are asking that. Let us know exactly which students are in the Space Club, how you are running it. Now, if it's a club or outside classroom event, we recommend at least one event every term where you have a presentation on video that they can watch to excite the students. The best thing is once a month, 3 times every term, you let the students see. Now, most students these days either have phones or use their parents' phones, so they can watch YouTube videos at home. But it's good to have an event where the whole school can gather and where they can watch. Children are young, they're impressionable, their minds are still tender. When they are inspired, you can literally change the course of the life of a student by just one lecture. When they see what space is all about, even their minds will be expanded, and the human mind, once expanded, does not contract. So we want to work with the school. We want to know how you plan to run the Space Club. We want to know what days you want to run it. We want to know how you want to engage the students, and what methods you want to carry the students along. Is it lectures? Is it presentations? Is it a newsletter? Is it emails? After today's training, we expect by the end of next week, you communicate with us, we'll follow up with you, and you let us know what you plan. We want to know the person in charge so we can send you the accurate information and update you. Like we have said before, space is continuous knowledge. There's nobody in the world, no physicists, no Nobel Prize winner, that can tell you he knows everything about space. As we're talking right now, they're making new discoveries. So even the professor of space research, there are actually people that discover planets from their homes. They're not scientists, they're just amateurs who it's a hobby for them. So space is so wide, nobody has all the knowledge. Therefore, we will continuously update you with new things that are happening, so you're going to pass across to the students. It's evolving and it's moving on. Let's know the name of your Space Club. Let's know how you intend to meet. Let's know how you plan to pass information across to the students, and every term, let's assess the students. Let's find out what they know. Do they know the planets in the solar system? Do they know the planets with the most moons? Do they know the newest galaxy that was found? Do they know what the James Webb Telescope does? What is the James Webb Telescope? Where is it? Who built it? What does it do? Do they know what CERN is doing in Switzerland? What all the research is about? All these things are things that are very exciting that we want to work with you on. So we are going to continue today's training with more information, more specific things, more knowledge to pass across to you. But this is the foundation. You have a Space Club. You are the teacher in charge. Your plan to communicate with the students, your plan to assess the students to know that they're learning, and then your plan to reach the parents so that this becomes something that makes your school really great.